Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In case you're here for the very first time, my name is Rachel Raphael. So this is going to be the second time I'm filming this video because I just talked and my mic was cut off at some point. What I have today to share is a form of encouragement, okay? So I went through something in my life at some point and I don't know if anybody out there can relate to it. Before I got admission into university, there was this prayer I made one day, and in that prayer I said, God, if you give me this admission, there are so many things I'm willing to let go. There are so many things I'm willing to sacrifice just for you. And I was trying to justify why God should give me that admission. Like I was praying and praying. Like I was viewing God from a man kind of perspective. Like when you can't put your trust in God because you've got maybe many heartbreaks, or maybe you're traumatized, so you can't even trust God because you think that God is like man. Do you get? So I was really trying to justify why I needed this admission. Fast forward to when I got admitted, I was like, okay, I'm trying to balance school, my personal life, church, every other thing going on, so God can wait. I started feeling like God can wait at some particular point in my life because I came into university as a direct entry student. So even in my 200 level, I was taking some 100 level and 200 level courses. So I was trying to balance everything. I was like, okay, God, I hear you. I know you want to relate with me. I know you want to talk. I know you want to communicate, but I think you can wait, okay? I think you can wait. So I've had some times in my life where I felt like I was so busy, like that was, so piled up with work, and I did not have any time for God. This YouTube podcast that was recommended to me by my mentor, and it was very beautiful. I listened to it every day up to now, and I still listen to it. But at some point I started replacing this for my actual time with God, that relationship, intimacy, communication thing. I would just feel like, oh, so how I've listened to this podcast is justified. And one day I was just thinking, like, where does this lady get all these deep things that she says? Like, how does she see all these things? How does she know all these things? I'm like, is it the same God I'm serving, the same God I'm worshiping, that she's worshiping and she's able to get all of these things? And I was like, okay, God, if this is real, like, how can I know these things as well? Like, how can I be able to operate in this way? Like, I'm such a curious cat. Like, once I see something, I want to know about, like, okay, if this is possible, like, to achieve in God, like, what am I still doing? Like, is there something I need to be doing? Is there something I used to listen to the podcast very early in the morning, like, and as I'm getting ready for school, I listen to the podcast. So I was like, why don't I just listen to my audio Bible? Now, I think the problem we have most times as Christians is actually reading our Bible and praying. So what I started doing is I get up early in the morning, I take some minutes to pray and commit my day into God's hand, and then I listen to my audio Bible. And I use the YouVersion app, very beautiful. You can choose any translation of the Bible you want to use and listen to this audio version of the Bible. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but I started using the audio version of the Bible and I listened to this. Then when I'm stepping out of my house, I switch to worship music. So this has been very instrumental in helping my Christian walk because I'm able to listen to the Bible now. This was how I was able to read the book of Daniel 4 times in a week. Like, when I'm done, I will go back again because I believe that I can't get all the message at once. Like, because it's an audio Bible, I'm prone to be doing other things and have divided attention. So I'm not trying to say that you should use the audio Bible version to replace your actual paper Bible, because those things are very important. Sometimes you can get distracted on your phone. I kept looking for the perfect time I could sit down and carve out time to be with God, and that time was not coming. I felt like, okay, I have to do it in the morning. The morning I want to do it, something will come up. Like, okay, I have to do it in the afternoon. That afternoon something will come up. Like, there was no perfect time. Like, if you keep waiting for the time will never come. So you have to create that time yourself. So I started trying to listen to my audio version of the Bible every single day, but do not replace that with your actual Bible. In 2020, something happened. There was this Bible app that I downloaded, and the whole point of the Bible was to make me sleep. So they will narrate the stories in the Bible in a way that is calming and very soothing and makes you just feel sleepy, cozy and calm and all of that. And I was reading the book that has to do with Joseph and Potiphar's wife. That was the part of the Bible where I was in. And before I went to bed, I was almost losing consciousness. And then the Bible started, that app started narrating the Bible in a different way, like started making everything look so sexual. Like, they were narrating the story in a way that just makes it look like painting a very sexual picture in your head. And I've read that book in the Bible before, and I know that whole thing that they were talking about did not happen in the Bible. So I'm like, when did this one happen? So Just going to tell you, very careful about all these apps, because most of these things are not even created by Christians. They're not created by believers. So they could literally create stuff and then put anything inside there. So what happens when you lose your consciousness and you're asleep? You don't even know what enters your subconscious. Like, I don't know if this thing I'm saying is making sense to anybody. So sometime this week, I decided to go on a retreat. And, I was asking God, how do I go on a retreat? Because I'm not in a space where I can be by myself 24/7. And I just wanted to, have my time alone with God. And he asked me this question. He was like, okay, so if you're married, you have children, your husband, do you chase them out because you want to have a time alone with me, or do you move out of your house because you want to have a time alone with me? Now, I'm not trying to say that there is no time that God can say, okay, pack your things and move somewhere else. I want you to spend some time with me. But I'm just trying to say that in this situation, this was what he told me. Because sometimes we are actually, like, if you stay in a hostel or something, you'll be thinking that, oh, I have to have a time where nobody is in the room. Even if you're alone in the room, sometimes you will not actually pray. Like, that is what I'm driving at. So at the end of the 3 days, I felt so good. I felt like I wanted to spend more time with God. Like, it's not about saying, oh, I'm going to stay 4 hours with God, but in that 4 hours, it's only 5 minutes you're able to concentrate. Sometimes it's about giving God your full attention. Okay, I was going to make this next point a whole video of its own, but I just feel like talking about it a bit here. So I go for fellowship, and I've heard so many people so many times say things like, oh, I just stay in my house and I pray and God comes and fellowship with me. I don't need to go to church. But the same God you believe in wrote in his word that you should not forsake the gathering of brethren. So don't think that you can write your whole law. Like, we need to stop fine-tuning the Bible to fit our own version of righteousness. You need to go and fellowship with other people. Sometimes you don't even feel like praying, but when you get there, you're seeing other believers, you're seeing other people praying, you just feel like praying. You see other people worshiping, you just want to worship. So don't forsake the gathering of the brethren. I had a whole list of the things that I wanted to say written down in a paper here, but God has just brought it to this. And I don't know if anybody out there can relate to this thing I'm sharing here as well. But if you can, let me know in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share.